But at this time, I'd like to introduce our guest speaker. I'd like to tell you a little bit about him. His name is Dan Nichols, and he has over 500 wins to his credit while coaching basketball and football on both the high school and collegiate levels. Dan is currently the head basketball coach at South Mountain Community College, where his team finished with a 27-5 record and earned him the ACC AC Coach of the Year award for the second time in the past 3 seasons. South Mountain's #1 national ranking was the first for an Arizona program in over 20 years. Dan began his career as an educator and has over 20 years of experience teaching with the Isaac and Phoenix Union school districts. Dan is the former head basketball coach at Grand Canyon University, where he now serves as the associate athletic director. Grand Canyon is an expanding university that is moving toward Division I NCAA certification and is competitive in 21 sports. Coach Nichols also has his master's degree in psychology and is a licensed practitioner in Arizona. Everyone, please welcome Coach Dan Nichols.
Hey, I'd like to thank Pat for inviting me out here today. You guys certainly look like a team. I look around, you guys look like a team, much like the teams that I coached. And it's important to look at where you're at. And Pat tells me you guys had a really good year last year. Everything went pretty smooth, according to him. But he also said there's change in the air and there's some things some new goals that you got to hit. And some things you got to get used to. And budget constraints, don't get me started, as you guys know. You got to actually do more with less. And I'm hoping that, Pat, that you set some goals that you can hit. Because as an organization, as a team, I like to start out by setting goals with my players. If you look at maybe some certain percentages that you can do, that way you guys are more focused, and instead of just floating around and showing up for work, you have some things that you're working toward. If you're just a ship out to sea, floating around without a rudder, you're floating, you're moving okay, but really, where are you headed? And then also, you got to take a look at the bigger picture. What message are you really driving home? I was talking to a former Suns assistant coach, and he was relating a story to me about Charles Barkley. Before one of the biggest playoff games in history of the Phoenix Suns, the coaches would get up, and during a pregame, you write a bunch of notes on the board. Well, they had meticulously written 3 boards full of notes. Things like tendencies, what the different players were going to do, and then reminders. And they had really put a lot of work into this. And as the Suns players came and sat down, Barkley comes out of the John, a little bit late, of course, picks up a towel, walks up to the front, and wipes it all clean. He writes one word on the board. What is it? Win. Win. Of course, win. Because you know what? The big message is what's most important. So what are you guys telling yourself? And how do you fit in to the big picture? And I was looking at the Mesa Public Schools mission statement. And I want to read it to you for a second. As one of America's outstanding school districts, our primary mission is to provide opportunities for students to learn as they prepare for life in an informational age. Students have access to comprehensive educational programs in which they are taught to become productive and successful. That's just the first 2 paragraphs. Then there's bulletins. This is a mission statement. I think it's more for an archive. They're just throwing more things in. But what's really the rallying cry? I like to use something, and I had a chance to serve on a committee that came up with a mission statement. And my mission statement was success through total student development. That's it. We all get that. Success through total student development. So how do you fit into the picture? Well, the reality is organizations are all talking about the inches, gaining the inch. Or I was interviewing a guy for a coaching position, and he was talking about the margins. I'm like, what the heck is he talking about? But it's the same old thing. It's the inches, the small things. You guys are the foundation of Mesa Public Schools. The reality is, the little things create the bigger picture. I'm going to read something to you, and I want you to tell me where it's from. The margin for error is so small. The inches we need are everywhere around us. They are in every break of the game, every minute, every second. On this team, we fight for that inch. The margin for error is small. The inches we need are everywhere around us. They are in every break of the game, every minute, every second. On this team, we fight for that inch. Does anybody know? No. It's a movie.
House?
Pat, you know it?
No, he's not the coldest thing.
No, it's a movie called Every Given Sunday.
Hoosiers.
Any Given Sunday, and it's Al Pacino that gives the speech. And it's called The Inches. If you get a chance, Google it. It's got like 3 million hits. Or watch the movie if you haven't seen it. Because really, I think for a sports movie, it's one of the best of all time. And so really what's he saying? I mean, he's saying the same message I'm telling you, you know. Yeah, everything's about the small details. And you know, so I was thinking about you guys' situation here, and I think sometimes, you know, there's a tendency to underappreciate what you do. You know, the greatest football coach of all time, Bill Parcells, the coach of the Giants. Not the Cowboys.
He's killing us.
When he took over that organization, that rotten organization known as the Cowboys, he started with the security at the gate. He looked at security for the, for the field. And then he went to transportation, food service. He spent a whole month on those details before he even cleaned out those assistant coaches' back. So, you know, I was listening to an interview with Ron Artest. He's a crazy basketball player. I don't know how much basketball he followed. The guy was a nut. He was all over the place for years. A lot of talent, no championships, not a lot of winning. And they asked him, and he went to the Lakers and they won a championship, and he was a huge part of what happened. And they asked him how he turned it around. And he said that of all the things that he was doing, he started assigning the points. He said because in a basketball game, even between the good and the bad teams, games are won and lost by 5 or 6 points. And that he could assign a point to some of the behaviors he was doing. He said, if I stayed out too late partying, that was a point. If I was getting in some social trouble, that was a point. If I wasn't eating correctly, that was a point. So on, he went on in this. And he said, since, you know, games are won and lost by not getting that key rebound, not making that hustle play, not diving on the floor for that loose ball, not making that critical play at certain moments, he could turn it around by scoring more points for himself, which would in turn score more points for the team. So what are you guys yourselves doing? How are you taking care of yourselves in those terms to do more for your team? I mean, the reality is if you're not taking care of your mind and your body, you're not going to perform well at work. Even something simple as hydration can make a huge difference. Being properly hydrated stops aches and pains, prevents colds and flus, okay? Creates more energy for your body. That's just one thing. You know, proper nutrition, taking care of yourself, keeping your weight proper, this is what me and Pat were just talking about, something that we all battle. But definitely affect job performance. Pat and Holly, they need leaders among you. Because let's face it, when they go back in office, you guys are out on the road, they have to have people that are going to drive the ideas and their objectives. You know, a key figure in the locker room, a leader in the locker room, when I turn my back and I'm gone, has to make sure that what I want gets done. And it has to stop the locker room lawyers, the complainers, and all the other people that bring the team down. You know, the guys in there that are complaining, that are negative, in sports we call them cancers. And cancers, they got to be cut out. So, there is where your team leaders come into play. And you may not have the title as captain, but man, you can make the work environment a lot better. Ask yourself, does it matter if? Does it matter if I don't shave today? Does it matter if my shirt's dirty? Does it matter if my language isn't right? Because a lot of times out there, you're the first person the public sees as far as Mesa Public Schools. And in the first 5 seconds, people draw conclusions and say and everything that they want to know about you and about your organization. There's a whole book on that. You can also learn from your coworkers, from your teammates. You know, they write a book called NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming. And you know all that is watch somebody do something well and repeat it. You know, I could watch, if I want to learn something about golf, I could break in slow motion Tiger Woods' swing down. Well, maybe not Tiger Woods these days, but, you know, you could break a swing down from a pro golfer, look at it in slow motion, and repeat it. And you know, that'd be worth thousands of dollars in lessons. If you get a chance, you grab some extra training, get in on a process or a committee, and help things along, I encourage you to do so. If you can help solve a problem, that's something you can put on your resume. If you can get some extra training, that's something you can put on your resume. Because we all know, in the work world, it's volatile these days. You know, your job's important, and you also got to look out for yourself. It's important to do what you do best. I have big guys on my team that want to shoot jump shots, you know, that don't shoot well. I have little guys that want to drive underneath against the big guys. And I ask them all the time, why don't you stick to what you do best, okay, and improve on the rest? And if you are the muscle for the group, be the muscle. If you're a great organizer, be a great organizer. If you bring the cookies on Friday, bring the cookies on Friday. If you're the well-wisher, be the well-wisher. Because all those things are important in a group. And they are vital. Your unique talents to this team make it a great team. So don't underestimate what you bring to the table. So the most important skill in being on a team, did anybody guess it? Yeah, being a good teammate, getting along with others. In the interview process, if you're somebody that can get along with others, you know, that's the most vital skill that you can possess. Getting along well with others. That creates harmony. Is there perfect chemistry? Absolutely not. You three might hang out and eat lunch, not with these two. You may not really like that guy. You're not going to sit with him. Whatever. I've never had a team get along. Matter of fact, a little friction isn't necessarily a bad thing. But we respect each other, we work together, and therefore, you know, we're successful as a group. And be careful on your job. You know, Joe Paterno, I was reading this thing about him. He draws a blue line around the practice field. And he tells the guys, when you cross the blue line, you're mine. It's about football. And then when you leave the blue line, you're a student. You're a family member. You're part of Penn State University. Sometimes compartmentalizing like that is a good idea because we bring so much to work from the outside, we become ineffective. We're getting a divorce, you know, I could go through a million things, right? And it's tough to do your job. But if you start thinking in those terms, when I step in, I'm here to work because you're a pro. And the difference between a pro and an amateur is what? Money. You're getting paid. If you pay me $1, I'm digging the ditch. That's me. That's my mentality. You know, that's how I believe. It's ingrained in me. I don't care what it is. If I take money, it's a whole new game for me. And you have to think that way, because that's the reality. Your reward, however much money you make, is the actual payment, reward for doing a good job. And I think sometimes it's overlooked. We complain about everything, but you're getting a check, you've agreed to the check, it's time to deliver. That's what a pro does. Okay? And we can't make dumb mistakes. I deal all the time with people that come in and do the silliest thing, and maybe I got to let them go as a supervisor. And it's crazy. Hey, we can look at, what's the guy's name, Wiener? He's a politician. Wiener. It's funny, the guy's a joke now. And he had it all, right? I'm sure he had plenty of cash, beautiful wife. We'll risk stuff not thinking. We're professionals. You know, I get a guy in, you know, we have smartphones. He's downloading naked picture. What are you doing? How can I defend you at this point? You know, you were computer dating at work. What? You know, this is true. You know, it took 18 boxes of toilet paper. What? You know, is it worth it? You got to ask yourself these questions sometimes. Is it worth it? You're a professional. And I encourage you to say it out loud sometimes, just like I did. It sounds stupid when I say it, but these are all actual things that happen. You know, and I'm stuck with the mess, and I'm like, you know, how could this be? But, you know, sometimes it just takes, hey, say it out loud. And, you know, let's go from there. So I encourage you to get along, do your best to become part of the team, bring your talents. I was going to go something over with you on the back, or on your second page, and these are coaching for life themes. And I did this with my team this year. And we did this thing called Heart of a Champion, and it won't take very long. It's just an acronym for heart and an acronym for champion. For instance, hope. Holding on to the possibility, to the desire with expectation of fulfillment, like we were talking about, goal setting and having some things to shoot for. Excellence, being 10 times better. The quality or state of being outstanding and superior. And working toward that, improving your skills. Attitude. Attitude determines everything. An inward mindset and feeling expressed, and a feeling expressed by behavior. You know, that attitudes are an attitude. You know, you get sick of hearing it. Well, you know why it's said? It's the truth. You want to say it's dumb, but you know what? It's the truth. Respect. Getting along is the first step to moving along. To show consideration or thoughtfulness in relation to somebody. And that goes along with the essence of teamwork that we were just discussing. Teachability. You can never stop learning. To be willing and able to learn relating to something such as a skill or subject. Cooperation. Not my way, but our way. The act of working together to achieve a common goal. You know, I don't agree with everything that comes down. I got to understand the hierarchy. I've got bosses. Believe me, some things happened to me in the last 4 years I don't wish on anybody. Out of the blue, surprises that I had to bounce back from. But I had to understand how it works. And I have to understand the game. And sometimes somebody will come to you with criticism, and you think, what? But you know, you just take it and move along, because sometimes they're not right, but it's their job to throw something at you, to throw some criticism your way, because they feel they have to. And we really can't get offended by that. We just got to understand what's going on. Hard work. There is no substitute. Having eagerness to use all my energies to accomplish each task. Let's face it, hard work equals good results, 99.9% of the time. Alertness. Focused on the task at hand. Watchful and ready to deal with whatever happens. Clear-headed and responsive. You know, I'm going to say that part about nutrition getting your mind right. Look, and even if you spend a few minutes in the morning sitting peacefully thinking about your day's going to go a little bit better. Because I tell you, something about clearing your mind, and I don't know what it is, maybe it's just some metaphysical BS I'm giving you. It works. Because as you know, accidents on the job are a killer. They, either it's hurting your body or screwing up the company in some way, smashing a truck. A lot of that stuff is because you're not focused. Period. That's why they're called accidents. Mental toughness, controlling chaos, to be consistent and remaining focused, resilient, and in control under pressure. And I'm going to give you one other thing, organization. When I was a rookie coach, the game would be on the line, and I'd have some play I'd want to run, and I wouldn't have this sheet in front of me. Just like I don't have it now. If I didn't look down and just check a few things, I'd have forgot half of this crap. Right? But you know something? 2 minutes left, down 3 points, the play I'm going to run is right here. And I forgot it once, but you know what? I hold that sheet up, and I don't forget it again. Focus. Sometimes it's the games you play with yourself to keep yourself mentally tough and mentally focused. Peace, no pressure. Mental calmness and no anxiety. Integrity. When it's over, I did what is right. The state of being whole and complete. And I'm telling you, in coaching, that's a tough thing to do. Because the rule book is a mile thick. If you buy a hungry guy hamburger, you're violating a rule. You see these guys get in trouble all the time. It's a dirty business, period. You get stabbed in the back. There's all kinds of crooks running around peddling kids. It's almost impossible not to get your hands dirty. I'm going through that kind of thing right now. But I'm going to tell you, you try to stay on high ground. You try to stay on high ground and not get involved in any BS. It's hard to do, but it can be done. Obedience. What to versus what have to. Fulfilling instructions so that the one I'm serving will be fully satisfied and pleased. No quit. There are no half-hearted champions to endure difficult situations, to become stronger regardless of feelings. I'm just going to wrap it up, and I'm going to read you this, the end of that speech, the Inches speech. And again, if you get a chance, I thought you'd be familiar with it. I'm kind of surprised you weren't, but you got to look at the guy next to you. I think you will see a guy that will go that inch with you. So after he gave all this about the inches, the margin for error is small. The inches we need are everywhere around us. They are in every break of the game, every minute, every second. On this team, we fight for that inch. Now, you got to look at the guy next to you. I think you will see a guy that will go that inch with you. And we always say, hey, he's got my back. And the reality, that's the greatest thing about your job. You ain't going to remember too much about it probably when you're done. But you'll remember him, the great times you had here, and that you guys were together. Appreciate the opportunity to talk to you. I hope I was able to get through to you in some way if you need it, and I hope you got something out of it. Thank you.